Good morning, everyone. Welcome. So nice to be with you today. How are you? Welcome to Fasting Space. Today, we're going to be diving in on our ideal health space. How do we recognize it? How do we design and create it? We're going to stop trying to, white knuckle our way through a space, trying to build up willpower, something that is very difficult to do. Try to build a space that is actually smarter, an environment that helps us to flow through it in the best possible way. That's what we really want. I was doing some thinking about this yesterday, and I ran into this quote. Listen to this. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. That's from James Clear. I found it from Atomic Habits. Now, I'm reading through that, as you know, if you're following along, but I didn't get to that yet, so we're stealing the quote from the future. But the environment shaping our experience. Do you feel that? Like, can you identify places in your life where it's easier in a certain space to make a health decision that feels better, that is taking you in a direction? Can you see the opposite? Whereas, like certain spaces where it makes it more difficult. Certain environments, certain people, certain situations, you say, man, that is a struggle, right? So, more than just forcing ourselves, brute forcing ourselves into a space, how can we be wise? How can we be smarter? Flow through these spaces. This is what I want us to really think about. And I'm going to show us it can really be different for different people. Absolutely, it can. That's why we've got to definitely generate some awareness. Definitely think about our life deeply. What are the things in my situation that's really, really moving the needle? So here's our mission. This is the mission. Maybe it can be your mission for the weekend coming up if you got some good time. Identify the spaces and the environments that make the easy, uh, the healthy choice, the choice that is most in alignment with our goals, makes that just flow through it the best. And to inspire that, I'm going to give you some thoughts on this exact topic from this wonderful book from Rick Rubin, The Creative Act. If you're new to this type of thinking, the path that I'm trying to lead us on is to envision ourselves as an artist, as a creator. I think really in this space, we're really getting into it. Like you think about someone who is a space designer, someone, whether that's an interior designer, a landscape architect, right? This is an artistic expression, creating a beautiful space where everything is aligned, flowing together, beautiful, creating an emotional environment out of it. See, all that is artistic, right? And we want to bring some element of these things into our life, right? We want to be very thoughtful about how we arrange and design everything around us so that we're totally supported in our health process. If you believe this quote, that the environment shapes behavior, can you see where that's true? Well, we want to create an environment that is giving us every support, right? So that we don't have to struggle. See, so much struggle in life. We don't say, oh, we're going to always free ourselves from struggle, right? But we don't seek it, right? We don't seek out struggle. We're trying to minimize the struggle as much as possible. How did I say it in the description here? I said, the best hack for willpower is to need less of it. So that's what we want. Design a space where we need less willpower. Okay, so this little section I'm going to share some thoughts to you from is talking about the setting for artistic work. And so we can think about the setting for our health work, which is our expression, right? It's an artistic expression. How are we living our life? How are we channeling our experiences and ideas into an expression of health? Isn't that what a piece of artwork is? A communication, an expression of an idea. We're having a healthy idea. We get to manifest that through our own life. You see, that's just beautiful. Rick says, we are affected by our surroundings. Like even right there, like just that one phrase, like we could just pause right on that. And just think, like look around, wherever you are. Where are you right now? Are you in your house? Are you in a car? Are you outside? Like how are our surroundings affecting us? We can bring in so many things into it, the culture, and just to do a little check-in, How are we being affected by that? Positive and negative, right? Okay, he goes on. That was just the first phrase. We're affected by our surroundings and finding the best environment to create a clear channel, right? Clear thinking. This is what we want. We want the most dialed in clear thinking, right? Think of all the competing ideas and influences that are coming at us every day. How have you heard it? They say this is the attention economy now, right? Everything attention, right? And so if everything is vying for our attention, like where is our attention? What is our focus? We can say, would you agree? It can really be a challenge to move forward in health. Like our whole society kind of flowing in a direction not really very healthy, right? And so trying to move in a direction of health is kind of like swimming upstream, right? It's like moving against the current. Got to clear out some space to do that. This is what we're trying to do right here in this session. Clear out the space, dial in on the very most important things, the clear thinking, so that we can make our best decisions, flow through to health in the best way. We want to create a clear channel. And it also depends on your intention. See, we dove in deep on that. Isolated places like a forest, a monastery, or a sailboat in the middle of the ocean are fine to receive a direct transmission from the universe. Okay. I love this guy. Do you love things like that? See, to me, that is so big. That can take, some people would say, oh, that is going in a direction that is maybe spiritual or something in some fashion. Like, I don't know, When you step outside, do you ever do this? It's a dark night, maybe you're out of town, and you just look out into the starry sky, you see the Milky Way. Have you ever had this? And you're just like overwhelmed at just how huge it is, how beautiful and incredible it is. Do you ever have a moment where you just reflect on how wild it is that we're just here, that you can be looking at something like that? Ask deep questions about life. Why are we actually here, and how did all of this come to be, right? So to me, that's the closest I get. When I see it, am I receiving a direct transmission from the universe? I'm looking at a billion stars you can't possibly count. It kind of gets you into a space, like whether you believe, like I always like the term strict materialist. I know lots of people like that. Right? Say the only thing that exists is atoms and molecules is fine, okay? You can still look in a beautiful sky and see the universe. See, to me, there's great value in that. He's trying to tap into that sort of mindset. This is a type of mindset that I have found so empowering for people to help move in a health space, is to say, because it can be a struggle. Life can be a struggle. It can be a challenge to swim against the stream, to move toward health when the current is flowing away from it. Say, is there something bigger, than myself? Like, are there bigger things happening? When you look into the sky, you see the actual universe. You say, you know what? Like look at this. Look at all the pieces are moving together. Okay, so that's one thought he weaves here. Now look at this. He weaves a completely different thought. If instead you want to tune into the collective consciousness, you might sit in a busy spot with people coming and going and experience source filtered through humanity. The second approach is no less valid, right? So I was describing, right, out in the countryside, away from all people, just looking into the starry sky. Like, picture the complete opposite. You're sitting in Times Square, just people watching, and there's a million people going by everywhere. Like, do you see that inspiration can come from anywhere, actually? What is the environment? And see, it's not like both those things don't have value. Like, think of your life. Like, I mean, I think I've done each of those things, and each of them are interesting experiences, and they provide context that can give us an opportunity to reflect deeply on life from different perspectives. We're going to see how we can weave each of those things into processes that can help us move forward in health. Now, this is an interesting paragraph. This is a little paragraph here. We think about it. Okay, one step further removed might be to plug into culture itself, constantly consuming art, entertainment, news, social media. See, my little red flag was going off there. I say, oh, look out. All while noticing the patterns. Okay, you got to hear the next phrase to connect with that. It says it's helpful to view current events in the culture without feeling obligated to follow the direction of their flow. Do you see? This is what we're trying to do, right? The flow is happening. It can be helpful to observe it, right? And to see yourself that way as an observer of what is happening. Try to create some distance from it. Notice them in the same connected, detached way you might notice a warm wind. Let yourself move within it, yet not be of it, right? This is what I'm trying to describe as our health path, right? River is flowing. We're trying to, maybe we're not swimming, right? Maybe it's just water walking. We're walking up against the flow. This is exactly how he's describing it. Let yourself move within it, yet not be of it. This, to me, we're trying to create a way of being in the world, right? We've got health tools. I'm dialed in, help people open up fasting space in life. This is something that has immense value, very underappreciated in society. Tremendous health space, a fasting space, but like not really visible in culture. Cultures say, what is that? That's not what we do, right? Incredible tools, healthy, nourishing foods, gentle or powerful movement practices, just expressing the energy in the body out as powerful movement. Right? So all these things are so good. Ways of helping that energy that is within us flow out in the midst of this culture. So taking that second sentence, I love that second part about moving within it. I would take this list as like a triage, an order. He says, constantly consuming art, okay, better than consuming just entertainment, better than consuming news, and then I say better than social media. So I would go in that order. Social media, I was seeing the other day a bunch of European governments trying to just ban this stuff, because especially for kids, which I think is a pretty good move. Got to protect kids, I say. And then protect ourselves, right? Protect everybody from influences that are bringing people down. You don't need to wait for some government to pass something to like protect something. Okay, protect ourselves and our mental space. One person's connected place might be another's distraction. So there's a way to think about it. See both sides of it, right? There can be great things on social media, right? People are trying to connect with other people, send out good ideas, see the good in it. I love that. And realize the distraction can pull us away from a space too. Different environments might be right at different points in the process. And then he goes through and he lists a bunch of different artists that he worked with. Remember, this guy's like a huge producer. He's produced all these incredible albums. He says some people put on a TV, a radio, and a record player all at the same time. It's just this crazy space. You say, who could create something there? But that helps one person. Other people just going in a soundproof room, totally quiet. This is where I want us to go in this space, right? To really dial in and think, if we're trying to move forward in health, okay, what is the kind of environment that is best? Are you picturing it? Say, man, I could flow through a space like this all day. Is it somewhere totally quiet? Is it music that is helping you flow through it? Is it a busy space where you're just feeling the energy of the city and people are going and it's just powering you up? Listen to what he says here. He says, it's not always easy to follow subtle energetic information, especially when your friends, family, coworkers, or those with a business interest in your creativity are offering you rational advice that challenges your intuition. That's what we're saying, the flow of the culture. We're trying to dial in on our own process, right? Our own path of health. I try to help you do that. But you see, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just showing, like, here are different tools. Like, here are things that we can do. It's like options. This is like giving people the paint, and you paint the picture, right? He says here, to the best of my ability, I have followed my intuition to make career decisions, and I have been recommended against doing so every time. It helps to realize that it is often better to follow your intuition than those around you. It's a perspective to have, right? We can definitely get good advice from people. I think it's great to seek counsel from wise and thoughtful people, all right? But there is definitely a balance there. And this is the importance of being grounded and centered. Because a quote that is coming to me is, to paraphrase, it's something basically like, if you're not sure about where you're going, someone else is going to definitely tell you, where to go, and it's going to be where they want you to go. So this is the big thing. Do we have a space? This is the theme we're trying to do, a space that is centering, where we can get straight on our part of it. Not that we can't ever listen to other people for guidance and perspective, but do we know who we are? Do we know where we are going? Do we know what is important? Have we done the deep work to ask, like, who am I really and what do I really want? And then out of that identity and that process flows out the expression, right? That's what helps you to decide, okay, when I know who I am and I know what I want and I know where we are going as a general concept, okay, then out of that flow the decisions. I am this and I'm doing such and such, therefore I'm eating this, or I'm not eating that, or I'm opening up a fasting space. I'm taking a walk now because, all these deep things. This is how it flows out. Health flows out of these deeper processes. Think about the inversion of this sort of practice from, typically the perspective in society. Go to the appointment. They say, like, do this, like, get a result, okay? It's like superficial, right? We're trying to really dive deep into it. Really want to encourage you to do it. It's worth it. Dive deep on it. Dive deep. Like, here's another side of it, right? Interference may also come from the voices within. So I love all these things. We're looking at both sides of these things, right? We're talking about, okay, we've got to, like, listen to the internal voice, the guide, the intuition. Then we see the other side of it. Thoughts in our head that murmur, the negative thinking. We really dialed in on that this week. How do we abolish the negative thinking? Want to get rid of it. The voices that murmur, you're not talented enough, your idea isn't good enough. Your art, your expression, It's not a worthwhile investment of your time. Better to do something else. Your results won't be well received. See, he's just listing off all the types of negative thinking. You're a failure if your process isn't successful. Do you see it? This can limit us. We don't even step out on the path because it's like if we don't have our success right away, then we judge ourselves. See, all of this we want to wipe away. It's helpful to turn those voices down. I love this. Turn those voices down so you can hear the chimes of the cosmic clock ringing, reminding you that it is time, your time, to participate. I love that. That cosmic clock is ringing. I love that. Whatever that is, it's your time to participate. We are here in this moment, in this beautiful expression, whatever it is. We have an opportunity to move toward health. And I just love that book. If you're looking for another book to pick up and just say, man, can I glean some inspiration, Every page of that book has some sort of beautiful fragment of thought that can help you see things from a different perspective. So today that reading is giving us this challenge to really think about the environments we're putting ourselves in. Do you have environments? Have you thought of it? What is an environment that you really like? That you say, man, if I'm in this sort of space, I can move toward health. It's a space, maybe distractions, things that you don't want, like negative influences are out of that space, so you don't even have to think about them. Every good thing that is there that can support you is already there. Can be a lot of different things. Do you resonate between the two, maybe just in one day or the other? Do you resonate more with that kind of solitude space? Get out of town, get in nature. Maybe it's just a park. Maybe it's taking a walk. There's an ideal space. Say tech-free, leave the phone. It's like get all the electronics off the being, just walking through the world. Do you resonate with that sort of space? Is that a space where you can clear the thinking to dial in on the truly important things of health? Or are you resonating totally with the opposite thing? I experienced a little of that. Over Christmas, we were down in Chicago. Shared some pictures of that. I was like, you just get into the busiest place in the world, people everywhere, so much energy. And do you feel empowered by that? Say, go walk around somewhere like that. Hardly a tree to be seen, but energy is still flowing, and you can feel inspired from it. Right? And then just bringing things into our actual house, the most important place. I say we want it to be our little sanctuary, protecting the thinking space. How are you doing curating the space of the home, wherever it is, so that it is supporting your health process? Would you say the way that you have everything organized in your house, is it charging up your battery or is it driving you down? Is it draining the charge? Our environment in our home, I should say, that should be like a battery charger. That should just be charging us up physically, mentally. I say one thing to think about. How about the kitchen? How is the kitchen designed? I often say a lot, do you keep the food put away so that if you have to walk through it, you don't even see it? If you're trying to go through a fasting space, harder to go through a fasting space if you're looking at food, all the time, right? Every time you go by, then you're seeing it. You always have to make the decision. See, this is the way we're trying to use less willpower, right? So we want to put everything away as much as possible so that we can flow through the space without having to dive into our willpower bank. We described in the fall when we were going through our series, Thinking Fast and Slow, that we got limited mental capital, right? We've got a limited number of times that we can dip into that account during the day. Have we organized our kitchen in a way where we have to withdraw from that account as few times as possible? And then what about when we do? So here would be a next level, is like, what are the eye level things? Like, do you put the healthiest choices, like when you're planning and designing, is the kitchen set up so all the healthiest things are the things that you see first? The nutrient dense, minimally processed, all this sort of stuff. If you're going for a snack, have you ideally gotten out anything you wouldn't really want to eat when you're in your right thinking mind and saying, hey, I'm dialed in, just get it out of the house, so that when you're in the moment, when it's difficult, when you feel some sort of craving for some sweet thing, like you say, you know what is here is just a healthier option. Some blueberries are here, right? You want to make the choice as easy as possible. Hiding, removing any triggering things, any stressful things, setting up things to support you that are the most prominently located. One session I was thinking, or one idea, okay, we take this idea, fasting space, like, do we have an actual fasting space? You could make a fasting space. Maybe you call it like a fasting tray. It's like you put all your fasting aids on a tray that is like prominent. It's like out on the table or something during the day. And then you put on there like every special tea that you want, any sort of, little electrolyte thing that you might use. And you got a nice water, like you could make a little lemon ginger infused water, something really elegant and nice, make it look great so that you're trying to flow through a space. As soon as a little difficulty comes, hey, my first stop is at the fasting space, like the actual fasting space. Maybe you bring in thoughtful things to it, like I got my little fasting stone. I did the session, the fasting stone, tangible physical things are helping us get through a space so that we can move forward in health, that we're not just stuck in our head, something we can grab that we have imbued with meaning. So we take that fasting space in our home. All of a sudden, we're creating an environment where there's real tangible physical things to help and support us through a space. And then that can be fasting space, one element of what we're trying to do. And then that is totally in line with the way we design, our food storage, our kitchen, so that these are the two balances. We balance fasting space, healthy eating, two sides of the same coin. We bring those two things together in the ways that bring balance to our life so that we can flow through it. And then those same concepts we design, in our house or our life more broadly. If you are someone who likes to go to the gym, how do you make it as easy as possible to get there and actually use that? Or if you're someone, I like to walk around the neighborhood and the area, are we finding the places where it's safest, most beautiful, like the best experience, to have an enjoyable exercise, movement, practice? Are we doing it in our house? Are we preparing the environment ahead of time so that in the moment, every decision is as easy as possible? The yoga mat is already out the night before. The clothes are arranged, so that everything's set up. Because don't you get it in that moment if you're going to get up and then right in that moment, you set the alarm. It's like, but you could hit snooze. The voice is telling you maybe tomorrow. But if you've done it, look, the clothes are already out. Everything's lined up. We have the plan together. Like we want to remove every barrier in every domain of life so that it's as easy as possible to flow through every health decision. And maybe we don't win every battle, right? But we're trying to reduce the barriers so that we can hit as many possible wins as possible. And we're just trying to tip the balance in our favor, right? I think one of these sessions this week, we saw the analogy. I was like, you don't win an election with 100% of the vote, right? You got to get the majority of the votes. So this is how we flow through these spaces, having grace for ourselves. Realize we don't have to win every vote, but we do bring the intensity to it to the extent we want to the extent that it brings us joy in our day. Say, like, man, I made a really good decision there. It's like we try to ingrain that habit. And the more we stack up those wins, the more we are building evidence. We see, oh, I'm really on the path. I'm really walking here. Look, we did it. You record those wins in the journal. It's like you write out something like that. Got the clothes out the night before, and I did it, and it helped me get up, and we got it, and now I'm feeling so good, Put out the little fasting tray, had on something on it. Like, here's another thing. I brought a little thing. This is something I've been thinking about. I got this as a Christmas present someone gave me. Lavender essential oil. Okay, not the type of thing that I would typically buy because I'm like tough guy, right? But I gotta tell you, you just open up something like this, it is the most calming thing. This is called Calming Blend. Oh my word, it's like the most luxurious smell. And I mean, it's almost impossible. You put a little something of this on, just touching the bottle, it smells so good. It is super calming. And you say, whether it's really calming or is it a placebo effect? I don't know. It says calming on it, so I use it. It's calming. It smells good. It's pleasant. You put something like that on your fasting little tray, right? What if every time you were feeling anxious, you said, I'm trying to flow through this space, but I'm feeling a food craving? What if you went to your little fasting tray, you had a beautiful lemon ginger infused water and got yourself a little lavender oil, and then you just did some breathing of that? Because then when you're doing the breathing going to help you calm down. You're smelling these beautiful smells. See, it's luxurious sort of thing. Refreshed with water. See, water quenches hunger as much as it quenches thirst. You have some beautiful, refreshing water. Beautiful, refreshing aromatherapies, just calming you down. Grab a little something off the tray that has meaning, that is connecting with you, and then do some breathing. Oh man, do you see that this whole environment, you transform your environment into just a really peaceful space, just totally supporting your mental health, wellness, helping you confront any stressful thing that is coming at you. Say, hey, we cannot necessarily change this. Maybe we can. See, we center ourselves if we can change it, What is that? Serenity prayer, Change the things that we can and recognize the things that we can't, And the wisdom to know the difference. That's the trick. This is the type of environment we want. So I'm describing, the home environment in this really zen kind of sort of way, some stuff like that. That's what, would help the most. Oh, and put the music on, Music helps you to get out of your head a little bit, If we get trapped in a cycle of thought, the breathing can help with that. Especially you kind of count it out. There's a little pattern interrupt. Block the cycles of negative thinking with some pointless numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're counting as we're breathing through a cycle. Hard to think of two things at once. So you're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just smashing down the negative thoughts. Helps to reset that. Reset the mental environment, So we've been talking through this whole section, the physical environment, How is that physical environment? Is it supporting us? And then, we dive in with this sort of practice. Counting, breathing. Right now we're diving inside. It's like, how is our mental environment really? Are we keeping that cleaned up, just like we're trying to clean up the external environment so it supports us? Are we trying to, we're unfollowing at least the negative influences on social media. We're liking and boosting up the positive influences so that our feed is doing more of showing us at least good things. And then are we also like setting some time aside where we're shutting all that off and just letting all those poor dopamine receptors just calm down and resettle so that we can find a space of peace and contentment. The attention economy thrives on dopamine, right? Because dopamine is addictive. We get in a cycle. We want more of it. Clicking begets clicking, you know? And that keeps eyeballs on the screen, keeps people in a space where they might want to buy something. This is, the crazy part of our society. So are we protecting that space? Say, I'm going to take myself out of that flow, preserve the mental space. So I just say in this session, do a little audit. We've flowed through different areas of life, from our movement and food and fasting space to mental health. Like, how are all these areas in our life? How are they going? Remember the session we did, was it just yesterday? You're the CEO of your life, right? We're trying to manage the different departments. Like, what is the environmental audit? Are there things you can change in these ways that would equip you, things that we can bring into the space to support the journey? I say do it. I say let's invest in ourselves. Let's give ourselves every good tool that we can. Let me know your favorites. If you're coming through on the replay too, throw in the comments what are your favorite environmental practices? What are the spaces? What are the things in a space that are the most helpful to you to take powerful steps forward in health? Love to hear your thoughts and ideas. Really nice to share this space with you today. Let me know ongoing questions you have. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I will look forward to connecting with you again next week, and we take another step. Every day we take a step forward in health. Let's hit this day. Try to do one extra thing today to shape our environment in a way that is thoughtful and supportive. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here soon.